Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Bobby Jacob, and I am Michael Buckoff, the founder owner and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass a TOEFL IBT. And you've paid to have the additional service of have me error correct all of the practice exercises in the pronunciation area of my course. And I think the first one that we're focusing on right now is called Speak Clearly Lesson Number 7. Now let me just make sure I'm at the right lesson here. Hold on.
Hi Michael, this is Bobby. I'm going to pause voice recording exercises chapter lesson number 7.
All right.
Speak clearly lesson 7. Voice recording exercise 1. However, the US Army continually invaded the territory, creating problems.
Okay, let's take a look at this one. The one word here is more of a word stress thing. Territory is how I would pronounce that. Again, territory.
Within the known zones of the native economy.
Now in this case, the O, the known, you need to carry that sound a little bit longer. The known zones.
Number 2. Indeed, it is known that forms of dance play an important role within a culture and reveal wide range of information about the characteristics of a culture.
Now this one, it looks like the O sound. This is where you're having most of your trouble, so pronounce these words after me. Known, role, forms. So you have to just make that long O longer than what
Number
you're doing.
3. Sitting Bull and the Sioux
Now wait a minute, let's go back.
Play an important role within a culture and reveal wide range of information about the characteristics of a culture.
Now let's take a look at two words here. Reveal. Pronounce the V. Reveal. And it's not characteristics, but it's characteristics. So characteristics.
Number 3. Sitting Bull and the Sioux realized that they could not defeat the army alone, and they must fight on their own land. Number 4. Ice speeds up the repair processes and should be applied.
So again here, the alone, own.
For 10 to 30 minutes on and off.
Don't forget with that TH sound, like 30 minutes, the tongue needs to be between your teeth when you pronounce that particular sound.
72 hours. Number 5. It is important to point out that the adult feedback has a direct effect on.
I'm going to say this word, point. Point out. You need to pronounce that P with more air.
Development at this stage, again in helping the child to acquire the words to express increasingly subtle differences.
This word here is acquire. Acquire, which also means learn, right?
In reference.
Okay, now the next thing is, I'm going to say right now you are 50% on these particular vowels. You're doing okay on the ah, but the o, that's the sound I don't think you've mastered yet. The main thing you want to do is to make that vowel longer than what you're doing, just a little bit. Now let's go ahead and practice these 5 sentences together. I want you to read with me as I do this, and then you should practice this several times until you feel more comfortable with the O. 3, 2, 1. However, the U.S. Army continually invaded this territory, creating problems within the known zones of the native economy. Indeed, it is known that forms of dance play an important role within a culture and reveal a wide range of information about the characteristics of a culture. Sitting Bull and the Sioux realized they could not defeat the army alone, and they must fight on their own land. I speeds up the repair process and should be applied for 10 to 13 minutes on and off for not longer than 72 hours. It is important to point out that adult feedback has a direct effect on development at this stage, again in helping the child to acquire the words to express increasingly subtle differences in reference.
Voice recording exercise 2. Young children
So in this case, you're reading the paragraph.
typically overgeneralize their early words or hollow phrases in the acts of deciphering the semantics of their language. Thus, cat may be
Don't forget the semantics of their language.
applied to anything with 4 legs.
With four legs. 4, make that longer.
Daddy is an adult male.
You want to say daddy is any adult male, adult.
As the child experiments with increasingly
This case, we don't say experiments, but as the child experiments with increasingly
sophisticated hypotheses about the meanings of the words.
This case, it's about the meaning, not meanings, but just meaning singular, about the meaning of words.
Previously occurred items may be dropped.
Again, the same problem as before. Acquired. Previously acquired items.
Out of the vocabulary. An example is this 16-month-old who went through a period of calling his mother Lady Daddy.
Right, in this case, period. Period. Okay, now let's read this one together. Again, what you want to do is you want to practice reading with me at the same pace, at the same rhythm, with the same pronunciation. 3, 2, 1. Young children typically overgeneralize their early words or phrases in the act of deciphering the semantics of their language. Thus, cat may be applied to anything with 4 legs. Daddy is any adult male. As the child experiments with increasingly sophisticated hypotheses about the meaning of words, previously acquired items may drop out of the vocabulary. An example of this is a 16-month-old who went through a period of calling his mother Lady Daddy. All right, now I think we're ready to move to your next practice exercise. Now let me give you a tip here. Now one thing you can do here is you can take these reading passages, you can listen to me read them, right? And then write down the main and the most important supporting points and then practice speaking about the information. This is very good for your integrated speaking. So you could look at this paragraph, Bobby, and then you could take down some notes, and then without looking at the paragraph, record yourself summarizing the paragraph. That's very good practice. You can start doing this today. So you're not just doing pronunciation practice, you're also doing integrated speaking practice.
Hi Michael, this is Bobby. Today I'm going to record Speak Clearly Lesson 8, Voice Recording Exercise 1. Stan told Dad that he could not hand his bad plan since it was too poor.
Okay, let's go back. Let me figure out where this one is. Hold on. I'm going to find it right now. Okay, Stan. Got it. Okay, found it. Now let me make sure we're looking at this correctly. So in this case, we're doing the ah before we're doing the ah. In this case, repeat these words after me just for some practice. This is called a warm-up, right? You ready? Cat, caught. hat, hot. Fat, glad. Land, sand. Jot, rot. Fan, palm. Dam, not. Nap, got. So again, it's ah. And now you're going to read these sentences here. I'll give you some feedback on this.
Hi Michael, this is Bobby. Today I'm going to record Speak Clearly Lesson 8, Voice Recording Exercise 1. Stan told Dad that he could not hand his bad plan since it was too poorly organized.
I'm going to say not exactly on this. So Stan, Dad, that, hand, bad, plan. So you're almost there with that sound, but still I'm having some trouble.
Number 2.
Now when you say two, say number 2. Repeat this. Number 2. Don't say number 2. Number 2. It's number 2. Ooh. Long vowel sound. It doesn't sound like much, but if you don't pronounce those long vowels long enough, a native speaker will have trouble understanding what you're saying.
Magazine can be the answer for some readers in that it acts as an accomplished sanctuary which helps them to concentrate on those issues that matters most.
Be careful. Sometimes you put S on words that are not needed. It's here that matter, no S. Here you said that it acts as. So don't forget the S ending when it's needed, and don't put it on words when it's not needed. Be careful about that.
Number 3. Fire management offers prescribed burning as a solution so that the habitat within the burn area,
again, habitats. Don't forget your S.
do not have natural wildlife which burns too hot.
Okay. Not bad.
Number 4. Graduate cognitive psychology programs study phenomena and other problems after which practical applications are modeled, some of which are based on many aspects of real life.
How about that for grammar? Some of which means applications. The person could have put a period, said some of these applications are based on many aspects of real life, but the writer doesn't want to repeat the word applications 2 times, so this, Bobby, is called an adjective clause, using which to refer back to applications. Notice that you use a comma here to separate the independent clause from the dependent clause.
Number 5. Authorities in Kansas.
It's authorities. Authorities.
Processed competent rations on farm.
No. Competent. Competent rations. You have problems with the stress in the word competent. Competent. Now, from time to time, you can go over some of my videos with you and start getting familiar with not just the vowel sounds that you're practicing here, but just words. For example, you may start a dictionary and put in there competent, and then put where the stress is on the first syllable, and that's a word now that you know you're having trouble pronouncing. You remember that word acquire? I would put that in a dictionary, so not a dictionary, but in a journal. So you need to start keeping track of different kinds of words that you're having trouble pronouncing correctly, and then you can practice those on a day-to-day or week-to-week basis. Now, what's interesting is it could be that some of these words you might not even know the meaning of those words, which is why you may have trouble pronouncing them. So now you're doing 2 things. You can even create a pronunciation and a word dictionary of these words. So in addition to noting how the words are pronounced, you can also talk about what the word means, including giving a sample sentence to explain its usage.
Project designed along with the emergency alert system for the tornado victims.
All right. I think we have one more, am I right?
Voice recording exercise 2.
Okay, now the next thing I want you to do here with this one, let's practice it together. Now, some things that you want to pay attention to, and it's kind of hard, and there's a lot of things that you got to worry about right now, but trust me, if you keep practicing with me, you will minimize your pronunciation problems. Now, another thing before I forget, Bobby, can you send me an email and tell me when you signed up for my program? I know that you made the $400 payment, right? But before that, you actually joined and created a subscription for my online TOEFL course. What I want to do now is you don't need to pay any more money for my course. You've already paid enough money, and I'm going to help you for 1 or 2 or 3 months, whatever it's going to take. I want you to tell me when you signed up, and I will cancel your subscription. Or you can cancel your subscription on your own, and once you cancel, send me an email, and I will give you 6 months of access to my online TOEFL course. So you have unlimited usage of my course for the next 6 months, and then each day you can post no more than 3 pronunciation lessons. Now, you might want to try this out too. This is just a suggestion. Why don't you do 2 pronunciation exercises, and then you can do one of them as a independent or integrated speaking practice test. So each day I can give you feedback on your pronunciation, and also I can give you feedback on your TOEFL speaking. All right, let's read these together now. Okay, number 1. Stan told Dad that he could not hand in with his bad plan since it was too poorly organized. Actually, I'm not saying that right. Hand in with. No, let me do it again. Stan told Dad that he could not hand in his bad plan since it was too poorly organized. Notice how hand and in, I blend those 2 words together. Number 2, a well-written magazine can be the answer for some readers in that it acts as an accomplished sanctuary, which helps them to concentrate on those issues that matter most. Fire management offers prescribed burning as a solution so that the habits within the burn areas do not have a natural wildfire which burns too hot. Graduate cognitive psychology programs study phenomena and other problems after which practical applications are modeled, some of which are based on many aspects of real life. Authorities in Kansas processed competent rations on a farm project designed along with the emergency alert system for the tornado's victims. All right, so let's move ahead.
Due to the 3 minutes of violent shaking, landslides Voice recording exercise 2. Due to the 3 minutes of violent shaking, landslides in Anchorage caused heavy damage.
Okay, you got to put this in your dictionary. This has come up several times. The V sound, we'll get to that at some other point, but you should put it in your dictionary as a word you're having trouble with. It's violent. It's not violent shaking, but violent shaking. So you're not pronouncing that with enough vibration.
Damage. Huge slides occurred in the downtown business section at
occurred in downtown. Town, it's like the P consonant sound. You're not producing it with enough air. Downtown. To. Town. Put those in your dictionary. Put the word town in there. Put the word to. Put the word violent. Put the word require. These are words that you want to practice a little bit over the next few days, next few weeks, until you feel more comfortable with them.
Hill and at Turnagain Heights. The largest and the most devastating landslide occurred at Turnagain Heights. An area of about 130 acres was devastated by displacement that broke the ground into many deranged blocks that were collapsed and tilted at all angles.
Okay.
This slide destroyed about 75 private houses. Water mains and gas, sewer, telephone, and electrical systems were disrupted throughout the area.
Say this word one more time here. Did you notice here? Say that. I'm going to say telephone. You're more like telephone, telephone. But telephone, town, telephone. So you should probably note the T consonant sound, the P consonant sound, the V consonant sound you're having some trouble with. Now overall though, I'm going to say with the sounds in the lesson, the ah, you're doing well with those areas. Now let's practice and read the paragraph together again. Your goal here is to read this paragraph several times with me until you feel comfortable reading at the same pace, with the same tone, with the same pausing, and pronouncing all the words and sounds just like I do. Due to the 3 minutes of violent shaking, landslides in Anchorage caused heavy damage. Huge slides occurred in the downtown business section, at Government Hill, and at Turnagain Heights. The largest and most devastating landslide occurred at Turnagain Heights. An area of about 130 acres was devastated by displacements that broke the ground into many deranged blocks that were collapsed and tilted at all angles. The slide destroyed about 75 private houses. Water mains and gas, sewer, telephone, and electrical systems were disrupted throughout the area. And I think that's just about it, right? Okay, so we're good. So in this particular pronunciation exercise, I gave you some feedback with the lessons that you're working on, and I even recommended that you start keeping a pronunciation dictionary. You can also put the meaning of the words if you need to, if you want to improve your vocabulary that way. But this dictionary is telling you these are specific words you're having trouble with. Now, if you put, for example, if you put telephone in there, you may underline the T, and just make a note that to pronounce it, produce it with more aspiration or more air. All right, thank you.